The call didn't come through my phone. That's the first thing you need to understand. It came from inside the house. At exactly 2:13 a.m. I hadn't been back there in years. Nobody had. After my parents died, I locked the place up and never returned.
New terrifying stories every week. Subscribe now and enter the darkness.
Where it was coming from. Not memory, instinct. Then I heard breathing. Slow, uneven, wet. Like someone hiding in the dark trying not to make noise. And then I realized something worse. It was my breathing. Exactly mine. I hung up immediately, grabbed my keys, and drove straight back to the house. The entire drive felt wrong. Every road looked too familiar, like I'd driven there recently. Rain covered the windshield the whole way, but somehow, I never missed a turn. The closer I got, the heavier my chest felt. Not fear, recognition. When I finally saw the house again, it looked exactly the same. Same cracked driveway, same weak porch light, same dark windows. But it didn't feel abandoned. It felt patient, like the house had been waiting for me. The front door was already open, moving slowly with the wind. I should have left right then, but none of this felt new anymore. That's what terrified me most, the familiarity. I stepped inside slowly. The air smelled like dust, wet wood, and something underneath it, something warm. Then I saw the phone, sitting in the middle of the hallway floor, still ringing. An old black landline, no wires, no power, nothing connected to it. And still, it rang. I stared at it, then suddenly, it stopped. Complete silence, and slowly, the receiver lifted by itself, and then I heard the breathing again, closer now, right against the speaker. That's when I ran, not outside, downstairs, toward the basement, like my body already knew where to go. The basement door was already open, of course it was. It was always open, I just forgot. Every step downward felt familiar, too familiar, like muscle memory. Halfway down, I noticed scratches on the walls. Long scratches, repeated over and over, like someone had tried climbing back upstairs. Again, and again, and again. The deeper I went, the warmer the air became. Heavy, wet, breathing underneath the silence, matching mine perfectly. At the bottom of the stairs, the wall was there, fresh wood, new locks. But somehow I already knew what was behind it before I touched it, and suddenly, memories started coming back. Fragments. My mother crying. My father carrying chains downstairs late at night. Doctors whispering behind closed doors. And one sentence. One sentence I suddenly remembered clearly. If you hear yourself downstairs, don't answer. Then another memory came back. I was 10 years old, standing in the kitchen at night, my father sitting at the table with a shotgun beside him. Every light in the house turned on, every lock engaged, and my mother whispering, "Did you hear it again?" My father nodded slowly. Then he said something I never understood until now. "It keeps asking to come upstairs." I remember freezing when he said that, because even back then, part of me already knew what he meant. I remembered lying awake at night hearing footsteps underneath my bedroom floor. Slow footsteps, careful footsteps, like something underneath the house was listening to me breathe. Sometimes, I heard my own voice whispering my name through the vents, soft, patient, almost comforting. I used to think I was dreaming. Now I know I wasn't. The tools were still there, hidden beneath the workbench, exactly where they used to be. I grabbed the hammer slowly, and the second I touched it, something flashed through my head. A child screaming, a door slamming shut, my father yelling my name, then darkness again. I broke the lock, easier than it should have been, like it had already been weakened from the inside. The door creaked open slowly, and the smell hit me instantly. Not rot, not decay, Breath. Warm breath. Something alive. The tunnel behind the wall was already open, long, dark, too clean, like it had been used recently. The farther I walked underground, the quieter the world became. No rain, no house sounds, nothing. Just breathing. Mine and something else beside it. At one point, I stopped walking completely, but the second breathing kept going. One extra inhale after mine, one extra step after mine. That's when I realized something else was down there with me. Something matching me perfectly, and that silence did something to me. It made the memories louder. I started remembering things I didn't want back. My mother locking my bedroom door from the outside. My father sleeping in the hallway with a shotgun beside him. The sound of chains moving underneath the floor late at night. Back then, I thought they were afraid someone would break into the house. Now I know. They were afraid something would come back upstairs. I remembered waking up one night when I was 10, standing barefoot in the kitchen, the basement door open, my hands covered in dirt, my mother crying near the sink, my father staring at me like he didn't know who I was anymore. Then I remembered hearing him whisper, "He sounds like him again." And my mother answered, "That doesn't mean it's really him." The tunnel opened into a chamber underground, and the second I stepped inside, I remembered it. Drawings covered every wall, hundreds of them, all showing the same thing. Me, standing there, looking down at something curled up on the floor, something small, something human. Then the drawings changed. Right in front of me, now they showed something else. Me opening the hidden door, me carrying food underground, me locking something inside. My chest tightened instantly. "No," I whispered, but deep down, I already knew the truth. The reflection on the wall moved beside me. Before I moved, it slowly turned toward me and smiled, like someone who knew me better than I knew myself. Then it spoke, softly, calmly. "Did you really forget?" My legs gave out immediately because suddenly, everything came back. There was never another brother, never another child. There was only me, and whatever happened to me down there. Something split inside me when I was young, something violent, something wrong, something my parents were too terrified to let outside, so they buried it underground, locked it away. But the other part never died. It stayed underground, listening, learning, waiting. It learned my voice, my breathing, my memories because it was me. Then I noticed something on the wall behind the drawings, words scratched deep into the concrete, some old, some fresh. Most of them said the same thing. "Let me out." But one sentence looked different, lower than the others, like it had been carved by a child. "He chose wrong." I stared at those words for a long time, because suddenly, I realized something horrifying. Maybe my parents never actually knew which version of me survived. The breathing behind me moved closer, perfectly synchronized now. Close enough that I could feel warmth touching the back of my neck. I still didn't turn around, because deep down, I already knew what I would see. Two versions of me, one who escaped, one who stayed buried underground, and only one of us was supposed to leave again. Then, very softly, my own voice whispered beside my ear, "You finally came back for me." The call came at 2:13 a.m., and this time, I think I'm the one staying underground.